What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Ingram Orchids and More. My name is Kathryn, and today we are going to be repotting our lipstick plants. And if you're not aware of what lipstick plants are, they are a vine, and their scientific name is Aeschynanthus. But I have two different kinds here. So I have the Aeschynanthus longicalis, I believe is what you call it. If I butcher these names, just forgive me. Tristan's better at the scientific names than I am, but this is Black Pagoda, and I'll make sure to put the names on the screen for you so you're aware. This one has orange flowers, and then I have the regular lipstick plant here, which is Aeschynanthus radicans, and this is the red flower, the one that I immediately got gravitated towards and became really interested in lipstick plants for the first time. The nursery where I work at, the owner had one growing in the Vanda house, and I just saw it just cascading down from a hanging basket, and I fell in love because the flowers look just like lipstick. So these are very tropical plants. You can grow them indoors or out, but they really prefer high humidity. The temperature ranges between 55 degrees Fahrenheit to a high of 95 degrees Fahrenheit. I did not follow the literature recommendations for these plants. I left them out in the cold. I have not repotted in a very long time, actually not at all, because I've had these for a few years now. And you're supposed to repot these every 2 years. Whoops. So it's always good to repot your plants, just because your potting media can break down, and then it kind of creates a bad environment for your plants. So I have been a bad plant mom, and it's time to take care of this. So what we'll be doing today is repotting them and putting them directly back into these standard nursery pots that they came in. They hold a lot of moisture. I'm going to leave them in here, but I want to just wash that old media out, kind of rinse the roots and refresh the media for both of these. And essentially, I did already take the hangers off of these. So I have one that my husband made for this guy, which is a metal one, but then I have the standard one that came with the pot for the radicans. So they like to be in hanging baskets. They do better that way because they do cascade, and it just looks better that way, especially if you're going to grow this as a house plant. I have mine hanging outside, growing in bright indirect light. We have lots of humidity here in Florida, but it has been a cold, wet winter here. And for those of you up north that are laughing at me thinking that this is cold, it's cold to us Floridians, okay? We've got really thin blood, so the plants are reacting as such, and they're very mad at me. So hopefully I can make them happy and I'll get to see them bloom again. So let's get started. I already have the mix kind of made up in this Home Depot bucket. We're very official here. This is a combination, and there's water everywhere because we just rinsed this out. So this is a combination mix of cactus mix, sphagnum moss, shredded tree fern, and sand. And typically we don't work with wet media, but we had to rinse this because the cactus mix was kind of yucky, and we wanted to make sure that we rinsed out that nitrogen, just because a lot of the times those mixes come standard with a lot of fertilizer in it, and we just want to make sure it's fresh and clean for the plants. So my fingers are going to definitely freeze off because it's cold, but here is a closer look at that media. And we'll roll our sleeves up here. And I have a trash can right down here, so if you think I'm making a mess everywhere, I am. But I also have a trash can. So the first step whenever you are repotting, you want to make sure that you have thoroughly washed your hands and you have a clean workstation. You want to make sure that this is sanitized, and we have gone ahead and done that. So the next step is evaluating the plant, and it's time. We definitely need to repot. So what I'm going to do is grab as close to the base of the plant as possible and slide this pot off. And it comes right out of there. And let's do a close-up of that. It's pretty root bound. Yeah, it's pretty root bound. It's very, very tough. So what we're gonna do is get rid of this media and start with new. So let me start tearing this away. And you always want to be gentle with your roots. They really don't like their roots disturbed, but here's the thing. If it's for the betterment of the plant in the long run, you gotta do it. So just gently kind of tossing this around. And it's really packed in there. I want to remove any of the old leaves that have kind of fallen down. Trying to create a mulch here. It's more root bound at the top, which is kind of weird, but okay. This plant was not happy with us. I don't see a lot of roots, so we'll see how this goes. Tristan's really weird. He likes the smell of decomposing potting media. It smells earthy. I guess it's a nice smell, but I'm not a big fan. Now I'm gonna rinse this under the faucet because it's kind of stuck. Just kind of tear that away. So if you have a little bit of soil left behind, that is okay. It's very much stuck to the roots there. But as you can see, I don't have a lot of roots going on here. This is very different than orchid roots. So hopefully by repotting this, we will hopefully stimulate some new root growth and not leave it out in the cold. So hopefully it will do better. So what we're gonna do, this is a 6-inch nursery pot, and it does have drainage at the bottom, just so you can see that there. Go ahead, and we're gonna put just a base in our pot, and we want to make sure that we're not potting this too deeply. We want to make sure that it's just right. So we definitely want it level with the top of the pot. So let's go ahead and start cushioning this around here. And I am just packing this in because I want my plant to be stabilized in the pot here. And this is a very messy job. I am doing this outside in our lanai's outdoor kitchen. Definitely wouldn't be doing this inside. Just going around the diameter of the pot here and making sure we are packed in. Okay. All right. Repotted. Ta-da! We're gonna rinse this, give it a good drink, and that just also helps us pack in that potting media. just rinse off my pot. All right. Officially repotted. I'll put the hanger back on there, and it's wham bam, thank you ma'am. And hopefully it's done and happy. So let's go on to the next one. All right guys, we're back. So we just repotted the other one, and now we're on to the next one, which is the Aeschynanthus radicans. So as you can see here, hasn't been repotted in a hot minute. We've got a lot of old leaves just kind of decaying in the media there. And it's just time. So let's go ahead and get this repotted as well. This is going to be the same type of thing. I'm going to grab towards the base of the plant and do a little scooch. And the roots definitely look better on this one. So we got some fat, juicy roots. Definitely looks a lot better than the other one, I say. You'll see some plump, thick roots. So that's a good sign. So maybe I'm not as bad of a plant mom as I thought I was, but we'll find out. So just like we did previously, we're gonna get rid of this old media here, rinse it off, and put it back in its pot that it came in. But as you can see here, it does have drainage. This pot is a little bit different where it does screw off, but it has a saucer to kind of help hold in that moisture. So we're gonna lock that back on and keep it there, and we'll reuse this. So let's get this off here. So I'm gonna take off this old media and do my best not to disturb the healthy roots here. As you can see, we've got some thick ones here. You just kind of want to gently massage and tousle it around. Try not to disturb it too much. But like I said, you got to do what's best for the plant. And if you wait too long, your media might become a hostile environment for your plants. So always make sure you're repotting when you need to. And that's typically in springtime is the best recommendation, typically across the board. Lots of crunchies going on here. Okay, flip this around. Definitely smells like dirt. Okay. I think this needed to be repotted, you guys. All right, I am going to run this under the faucet so it's working in my favor, and try to rinse off all this remaining potting media. We'll be right back. All right, so we have a little bit of the old media left here, but it is like caked on, and we are just gonna roll with it. But so far, this is what we're looking like here. And we are going to set this in our pot. So we are gonna take our media, and again, this is cactus mix, shredded tree fern, sand, and a little bit of sphagnum moss. So you can kind of see that there. We're gonna do a layer here at the bottom, make our dirt pancake, and we're gonna press that down. Okay, so we are going to take these roots and kind of gently set this back in there. And the fun part about vines is it's going to be everywhere and kind of hard to manage, but we can do this. So I am going to hold this up where I want it here. Don't want it too deep in the pot. I want it just parallel with the edge of the pot here, if you can see that. So I'm going to start shoving some more fresh mix into the pot, and we're going to start packing it in there. Okay. Spin it around. Want to make sure that no leaves are covered. So I need to raise this side up just slightly. Okay. Packing this in to make sure that my plant will be secure in the pot. Not going to be using any rhizome clips or anything like that today. You're going to come over onto this side. All right, could use a little bit more here. Okay. Big old chunk of bark, we don't need that. Okay. All right, now I'm going to rinse this off to make sure that the media kind of packs in and settles in where it needs to be, and rinse off all this dirt off the side of the pots and the foliage. And then we'll grade our work here. Freshly repotted, we are definitely moist, and definitely think this will be a better media than just what that mix was. It kind of looked like just regular potting soil, which I'm sure you can use, but if you kind of read up on lipstick plants, it's not the preferred method. A lot of times if you read the literature on this, it says that you can use like a combination of pearl white and cactus mix for something like that, something that's a little bit more dry and well drains. But here we are in Florida, and our watering habits for stuff that is non-orchid related isn't as good as it needs to be. So that's why we're using a combination media that's a little bit more moisture retentive for this. So I don't want to say that we get everything right here, but we want our lipstick plants to succeed, and I really enjoy seeing the flowers on these, so I'm hoping that this makes it happy and does what it needs to. 16 means it's a well-drained pot. So we have repotted both of these, and hopefully they're happy, and we'll make sure to do an update video and let you know how they're doing. If they die, I hope you guys are invited to the funeral. So thank you guys so much for watching. We appreciate you guys. If you have any questions or comments, reach out to us down below, and we look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. Thanks, guys.